Yo, what's going on, guys? I'm going to be going over my trade recap from Discord today, and this is going to be a short one. Only had 2 trades alerted, but only one we got filled on. So, the first trade was this, okay? So, I said, going to try shorting this BPR if we get a 5-point stop, okay? So, let me just go to the chart. And this was at 10:32 a.m. And remember, BPR is when a bearish and bullish fair value gap line up, okay? So, that's really important to remember. So when we relate this to the model, what do we have first? We have the market structure shift, which is right here. You can kind of see it's held at first, but then we finally have the market structure shift. And I would say this is an obvious enough low to consider this a market structure shift. We have displacement, okay? So on that shift, we have displacement. Another thing that tells me this is bearish is we just cut through this fair value gap, okay? And I did not like that fair value gap in the first place along because if we we're in a discount on that one, so let me just delete these. So this wasn't a discount anyways. Down here was, so I like this one better. But you can see that my point of interest is right here, okay? I wanted a entry down here. Why? Because it was in discount, okay? So I was interested in entering that fair value gap. And I saw that we had a market structure on the way down, a market structure shift on the way down, so I saw this fair value gap, so I was like, okay, I'm going to short this if we get down to this. And I guess you can consider this like this kind of the sell model. And let me just draw like kind of a paintbrush maybe. So you can kind of consider this a sell model. This is the buy curve. This is the sell curve. But that's all. Well, this wasn't like a perfect model. I would say the actual model would be like this. But obviously this wasn't the sell model because we still have liquidity above. So that's something to keep taking into account. So I ended up filling. I almost top ticked that. I filled like right there. If we just expand this fair value gap, you can see the BPRs are here. And again, in this situation, a lot of times what I'll do is I usually set my limit at the first 25% of the fair value gap. Sometimes a 50%. And then sometimes if I see a wick rejection like this, I'll just market buy in. And then I'll have my stop loss above. So I think I entered with like a 1-point drawdown in this one. And I said I had a 5-point stop. So even if you got a bad fill like at 3703, your stop would have been way up here, which isn't even close to getting stopped out. So yeah, so my target was down here, but I alerted that I scaled for 5, 10, and then I was all out at 20 points runners. So again, this was sell side. To complete the model, we have to hit sell side. And something that you can do is on the 5-second or 15-second, if you're a smaller time frame trader, you could see that we rejected this. And if you know that we're going to go here to complete this play, then you can go in the 5 or 15-second and scalp bearish fair value gaps as long as it matches up. So even if you could have scalped this one as well. So this is a nice fair value gap we could scalp because we still hadn't hit liquidity. And if you know we're hitting liquidity, then you know we're going down there, right? And again, my target of interest is right here. I ended up longing here, but I kind of paper-handed. I never actually alerted it, though. I longed here for like 3 points. I paper-handed because I had to go to class, so I didn't want to really stress myself out and go to class because I had to take a test. So I ended up saying in Discord, I said at around, let me see if I can find it. I said you should be all out at a specific spot, okay? So I said at 11:39 I would be all out if you have it. Oh no, that was yesterday. My bad. I think it was in the alerts section. Let me check. Right there, you should be all out right when we hit this bullish fair value gap. Why? Because I was bullish on a higher time frame. This is just a short time frame setup. So I said you should be all out at the bottom, and we are obviously creating a trend line. And what does that mean? That means the market makers are creating liquidity. So this was trendline liquidity that we kind of created in this scenario. Again, there's so many reasons to go bullish here. That's why I cut at sell side right there. And another thing I want you guys to notice is London lows. Okay, London lows were right here. We took out London lows and then we retraced above. So that's something also important to note. And let me check something. 830. We also took out 832. So 830 was right here. This is the open. We went above, then we went below 830, then back above again. So I was pretty bullish this morning. And on the 4 hour, I texted in my ICT group chat a couple days ago. I said I wanted to bounce here. I actually posted on my Twitter. So this is the 4 hour. This is a 4 hour BPR. This is actually like a 3 times BPR, which is kind of crazy. So I said that I wanted to bounce here. Why? Because we have a strong displacement in market structure shift. We do not reject this fair value gap. So this is a very, very bullish market structure shift. And it was in discount. Okay, so if we draw the fib from right here, we're in discount on the higher time frame as well. So that's why I wanted to bounce here. And I am probably going to be right on this, but I think we're going to hit this level next. So we haven't hit liquidity, obviously. You guys can check me, see if I'm wrong, but I almost 100% guarantee you we're going to hit this level. But yeah, I could see us going up to here. But after we hit this level, I'm just going to take it easy. I'm probably just going to look for short models. If I keep seeing long setups, I will play them. But I think we're going to hit this one. I'm not so confident about this one. We'll see, though. This could just be inducement, which is basically we go above this and reject it and go down again. We kind of created trend line liquidity, but not quite, in my opinion. But I guess you can consider this trend line liquidity. And whenever we create trend lines like this, we usually make them to break them. So if we retrace down here and create a perfect trend line, then I'll be bearish. But for now, I'm bullish for the time being. So my other play I'm just going to go over quickly was going to try this at 1:22 p.m. if we don't hit target first, okay? So let me just expand this. So this was my play, and I'm going to explain why I had the dotted line there. So if you remember what the buy model is. The buy model is basically, I've posted them multiple times. Let me just Google it real quick so you guys can see this. Maybe I'll do a video on this. Knowing if we are in the buy model is very, very important because it's going to tell you where liquidity is. So this is the buy model. If you guys don't remember, it's basically this V-shaped kind of move. And I saw on the 1 hour, we were in this V-shaped kind of move. So right here, let me brush. So I saw we were in this V-shaped move. So up there, I determined, okay, this is definitely the buy model. We're definitely going to hit this orange line. So knowing that, I'll show you why I alerted the long that I did. So if we go to the 1 minute, I wanted a long right. Let me just go back in the pointer. I wanted to long right here, okay? Let me get the rectangle. I wanted to long right here. So it's a 1 minute fair value gap. I saw this low being created. So I thought we were going to go below this low and then bounce, but we never got to the target. So basically that means we would just stop those people out and then go down and then reverse, which is also an inducement model, which is why I liked it. So that's the other play alerted, and you can see it was a 1 to 3.5 risk to reward. And in this situation, we had buy side liquidity, which was right here, okay, 3748, and I was planning to go long there if we hadn't hit this liquidity yet. But we as soon as we ended up hitting it, I ended up canceling this but if we hit liquidity and then went down here, chances are we'd probably be bearish by that point. So again, after we hit liquidity, you should probably cancel your long orders if we hit buy side, and then if we hit sell side liquidity, you should probably cancel your short orders because yes, they might still work, but they're going to be less probable. So that was my other play. That would have been a nice 20-point move. But yeah, we'll see what happens tomorrow or on Monday and next week. If we look at the weekly chart, I still kind of am bullish. I'm kind of leaning bullish. Again, we'll see. I think that we're going to go up here and test this order block at some point. As you can see, we initially rejected this fair value gap, so we're going to go back in this fair value gap. But I think the next point of our test will be this order block, okay? And I can definitely see something like this happening. So you reject that order block, then go down again. But again, this is all going to depend on the Fed. We're kind of neutralizing right now with the economy and the news. But yeah, that's kind of what I'm watching right now. Let me know if you have any questions in my Discord. Other than that, hope you guys enjoyed. Please ask me questions. I love getting questions. But yeah, other than that, peace.